Hi there, this is Mike from Pure Process Technology. MIT today, and we're installing one of their brand new solvent systems. This is actually a modification, but it's so heavily modified that it's pretty much a new system. And I wanted to take a minute here and show everybody how to do purging of the columns. So if you get a new system, if you get a modified system with new columns, if you ever run the keg dry, you're going to have to go ahead and purge your columns out. That is to get all the argon and the gases out of there and have full solvent. So the first thing you want to do is disconnect this connection right here above your final filter. And sometimes it'll get a little stuck. Just give it a little tap. Break it free. Now you just take some hose with a union, connect it, and I like to go ahead and weave it in between the valve handles so it stays put. And then I stick it into about an inch or so of water and a piece of glass. Okay. Now when the new columns come to you, when they're brand new columns, they are shipped out with 50 psi of pressure in them with argon. Here on the kegs, they're set at 25 to 30 psi. So if you have 50 psi in there and you let that pressure down into the keg, it's going to open that relief valve, it's going to be spraying solvent in there, and then you're going to have a little bit of a mess. So first thing I'm going to do is, right now I'm working on yellow. I'm going to open up the yellow valves on the keg. I'm going to open up the yellow valve on the argon manifold. Okay. Now what I had already done is, you have the two valves, black handles, that are on the interconnect tube. So this tube right here just connects the top of the first column to the bottom of the second column. So I open those two valves and it will equalize the pressure between the two columns. Now that I've got the pressure equalized, what I can do is open up this top one, and it will start to relieve some of that pressure into the water. I don't want to open it too much, but all we're doing is relieving the pressure inside of the columns, so you can get a good bubble going like that. I've been relieving the pressure inside the columns for a couple of minutes. It should be below the 25 psi set point of the relief valve on the keg. Now what I can do is open up this bottom valve coming from the kegs into the column. Then I can go ahead and throttle that valve at the top of the front column. And you'll start to get some argon bubbling out. And this is about how much of a bubble you want. You don't want too violent. And essentially you just let it sit like this until you have all the argon purged out of here and it's nothing but liquid solvent. Now you'll be able to find out where the solvent line is, because it will start to heat up as it reacts with the media inside, and you'll feel the heat. So already I can feel a little bit of heat coming on the back column, a couple of inches up from the bottom. Now some of these you can purge in 15 minutes or so. Others will take a few hours. And some of them, like methanol, which typically gets super hot, you have to shut it down and let it cool for a while. So I've done methanol on a couple of occasions that I've had to do over 4 or 5 hours the first day and go back the second day to finish it because it kept getting so hot. I've been purging these columns here for about 20 minutes now, and if you take a look, got a little bit of bubbles coming through, but I am really close to having solvents come out. Now you can feel where the progress has made it to by the heat. So I can tell right now that the solvent is all the way up here to the top of this front column. Which means it should be coming out any second now. And here we go. We've got a little bit of solvent coming out through the hose. Now I want to pull that hose out of the water, close the valve, and then just set it aside like this. That way it won't have a chance to siphon the water back up and inside the tube. Now I'm going to let it sit like this for about 5 minutes, and then I'll continue to purge it, and I'll get a slightly steadier stream as all that argon is purged out of the columns. Okay, as you can see here, the glass on the right hand side, it has some methylene chloride in there, and it sinks to the bottom because of its weight. Over here we have a little toluene, and of course it floats. Well, because of this, because methylene chloride is so heavy, when I'm done using it, I go ahead and I'll secure the valve that goes from the keg on up here to the back of the first column. Otherwise it has a tendency of, because of its own weight, to drain right back down into the keg, and then you have a big empty void inside of your first column.